Hello everyone and welcome to VIP Masterclass. I'm Steve Rosse. Today's edition is on memorization. Now it doesn't matter if you're an amateur, student, or a professional who would like to also have a bit of a solo career. Memorization is important for all of us at all levels. Now the iceberg model has been provided to us by some very famous psychiatrists and psychologists recently, and the metaphor of the iceberg is that the part that sticks above the water, that tip, is our conscious mind. So when we see something or hear something and proactively respond to it, that's the tip of the iceberg. Now what's going on below all that, below the water, is our subconscious. So if we are reading a piece of music and we have to identify, yep, that's a B flat, it's a quarter note, that's an F, it's a half note, you look at each one, that tip of the iceberg goes to work and tells you how long to play the note and what fingering to play the note. Now imagine if all this was deep under the water in the subconscious. So if you have a piece of music memorized, it's under the water, as this iceberg metaphor goes. It's already there, so you don't have to think about it. All you have to think about is how you want to present that music, or how do you want to look on stage. And if it's in an ensemble, you can concentrate on what the conductor's doing and what you're hearing around you and fit in better. So if you're a student and you don't want to be a music major, or you are an adult amateur, or somewhere in between, or both, it's important firstly to memorize your scales and your arpeggios. And the reason for that is when you have all your scales and arpeggios memorized, that goes into the subconscious, into the computer in the brain. So that when you're playing a piece in B flat, and the piece might be new to you, or you're sight reading a piece in B flat, for example, you can just recite yourself the B flat scale and some B flat arpeggios in your mind, and then when you play your piece, just say B flat. Then a lot of what you're going to do will be taken over automatically. So you can focus on other things like following the conductor, listening to what somebody else in the ensemble is doing, and copying their style, for example. So if you want to be a professional musician, for sure you've got to have all your scales, all your arpeggios, and your fundamentals done by memory, all right? But you should also be memorizing your standard repertoire and your standard orchestral excerpts. For example, tuba players, Meistersinger, The Ride of the Valkyries, The Fountains of Rome, Mahler 2. Have you got these memorized? Trumpets, Leonora Call, horns, all of your Strauss, violins, Mendelssohn, Mozart, Beethoven. All right? So what happens when you memorize these sooner in your student life, then you will be able to take these excerpts and these solos to the next level. You will be able to visualize what you look like. Do you look confident? You will be able to listen to the sound quality, and you will be able to focus on nuances of musicality. If you don't have your standard excerpts memorized and your standard solos memorized, you're going to be reading music and reacting what you see, and that top part of the iceberg metaphor is going to be taking up most of the information space to play the piece. Oh, A sharp, yeah, that's first off. Bum, bum. Okay, get rid of those thought processes. Memorize it. So that's in the subconscious. Right. Now, music that you will be memorizing from this day forward will fall into one of two categories. A, the pieces you already know, and B, pieces that you don't know yet, all right? Now I'm going to discuss with you strategies and methods to memorize music. Let's say there's going to be a competition in such and such a country, and this piece is going to be on the final round. Let's say it's by Cotier, and you've never played it. So what I would suggest you do, as soon as you get the repertoire for that competition, and you find out that something needs to be memorized, learn that piece first. Start working on that piece first. If you're working on all the pieces at the same time, that's fine, but at least make sure that that memorized piece, probably in the final round, gets as much, if not more attention at the beginning of your preparation for this competition. So how do you go about memorizing a piece that you haven't even learned? You start by getting the score. Don't even touch your instrument. Look at the score, not the solo part, the score. and sing through it. Sing through it. Now, if you don't have perfect pitch, you at least have relative pitch because you're a really good musician. Play the chord on the piano or play that one note on your instrument and sing through it and hear it. If there are recordings of it, wonderful. That's even better. Listen to the recordings of these pieces. So, for example, if it's Cotier, I'm going to give an example. I'm probably not singing the exact right pitch, but this is my way of demonstrating how I would start memorizing this piece, which I've never done, by the way. All right? Da da dee da dum bum bum bum